started a stream for last couple of times, so we'll wait to see what Twitch does. There we go. So, hello and welcome everyone to my weekly live stream. Hasn't been very weekly to, well, lately, let's say. But, yeah, this time around we're not doing KSP, we're doing World of Warships. This is a team-based vehicular combat game developed by Wargaming, and I have streamed this before, not for a while, but it's a real fun game. So, I guess without further ado, let's get into the game. Just gotta refresh game capture. Oh no, it's working. There we go. Put that down there. So the basic premise of this game is, like I said, team-based vehicular combat using naval vessels from early to mid 20th century to achieve a variety of goals depending on the game mode. There's of course deathmatch, basically kill enemy team, pretty standard. There's several different iterations of capture the flag mode, area dominance and things like that. Oh, come on. Don't be doing this. You've worked every single time until now. Okay. Seems like it's working now. Yay! Alright. Now, I know this looks really confusing to anyone who hasn't played this game before, but basically, what you really need to pay attention to is, of course, your vessel right here. Down here on the bottom are the vessel slots that you have. You can purchase more slots for premium currency. And also up here, you've got basically the port where you choose your ship, modules, which are ship upgrades that you earn and unlock using XP from sailing the ship and doing well, and you buy with in-game currency. And these are the module upgrades. You've also got consumables and upgrades to different parts of the ship itself. And over here you have exterior, so camouflage patterns and signal flags. I'll get into those a bit later. Then of course you have the tech tree, where you progress through and unlock more and more ships. At the moment this is the Japanese tech tree, and as you can see there are 4 main ship types that you can play as: aircraft carriers, battleships, cruisers and destroyers. All these tech trees start out at tier 1 with cruisers, and at tier 2 they branch off into the destroyer line. At tier 3 they branch into battleships, and tier 4 aircraft carriers. Not all nations have all of the ship types available. For example, the USSR only has cruisers and destroyers, and Germany lacks aircraft carriers. But this game is still in active development, and this premium ship here, the Blaskovica, is one of the newest in the entire game. So, for the first few matches, I'll be playing the US cruiser, the St. Louis Tier 3. Now, I know next to nothing about this ship in real life, but here in the game at least, I know that it is armored enough to take a hit, and basically made of guns. So, here in the modules you can see main battery, basically your guns, your hull, fire control system, and your engine. Different ships have different upgradable modules. Some, like this, you can't upgrade, they're just stock all the way. But basically, what it boils down to is hull upgrades give you more armor and hit points, and potentially more or less armament, or different armament potentially. And gun upgrades affect reload time, transverse speed, range potentially, and damage output. And the fire control system increases range and basically how effective your guns are. And as you can see, in order for me to get this gun upgrade, I first need the hull upgrade, which happens a lot. Sometimes you can't mount certain upgrades until you upgrade something else. Ammunition and consumables, pretty bog standard this early in the game. So over here you have your captain, and the name of the ship, of course, Tier 3. It's basically its tier and what class of ship it is. And then you've got its basic ratings: survivability, if I can possibly speak, survivability, artillery, anti-aircraft defense, maneuverability, and concealment. And if you drop these down, you can see more about it. So, total hit points 29,500, and armor anything between 6 and 102 millimeters of armor. And I'll get into armor in just a little bit. In artillery, you've got the main battery guns, basically the player controlled guns. I have 14, yes, 14 152 millimeter cannon. And that's basically these bad boys. So there's one on the bow, and they're all individual turrets, and they're peppered all throughout this ship. As you get to later ships down the line, down the tech trees, you'll essentially be getting more and more modern. So instead of seeing these individual guns, you'll start seeing multi-gun turrets. Secondary armament, these little pop guns here, 18 76.2mm guns, and these are AI controlled. Basically, whenever an enemy ship comes within range of these things, they will open up. And they always fire high explosive shells. The main battery guns, you can switch between high explosive and armor piercing, and we'll get into that a bit later. And the firing range of the main battery guns. This is really critical for strategizing, because the way the shots function, the way they fly, is different at different ranges. So let's go to anti-aircraft defense. Not all that good, because it's only tier 3. I've got 8 7.62mm guns. Really, they're point defense, really. And that's these things, not these things. These are the secondary batteries. It's these things. So essentially, this, you can see them all around here on the deck. This ship is basically just covered in 308 pop guns to deal with aircraft. Maneuverability is pretty good. Maximum speed of 23.1 knots, Not the best, but you'll get where you're going. Turn radius 450 meters. Basically, this thing takes time to turn around. And the rudder shift time, that's basically how long it takes the rudder to go from full left to full right, and vice versa. 6.4 seconds. Not bad. And concealment, if you're playing destroyers, these are critical numbers. Detectability by sea, 10.7 kilometers. If we go back to artillery, I can only fire out to 10.4. So there's a 400 meter span where enemy ships can see me, but I can't shoot them in return. And detectability by air, 6.3 kilometers. So that's basically all the numbers, and you can click this to see the armor layout of the ship. So it's all color coded. We'll get into this a little bit later, but basically 6mm pretty much everywhere except over the critical machinery components. And I think that's enough rambling in the port for now, so let's get onto a battle. So this is a random battle that I'm searching for here. By the looks of it, it's already found a match. Basically, it's a standard matchmaker. There is no server browser in this game, unfortunately. Alright, so we're on the ring map and it's domination. So if we go over here to mission, score 1000 points before the enemy team by capturing key areas and destroying ships. Basically, flags, Alpha to Delta, the enemy ships will be over here somewhere, and we can gain points by either capturing and holding these flags, or by destroying enemy ships. Now that we're here in game, I can explain a bit about the UI. So down in the bottom left here is my ship health, my attitude indicator that shows my relative heading and all my gun placements. I'm going to turn down the sound a bit actually, just for my own ears. Good luck, everyone. There we go. So, to the right of the attitude indicator, and you can see green guns are ready to fire, is my speed select. So it's just like the old telegraph system that you see in old ships. So basically, W and S, you basically select your speed. At the moment, I'm ahead by half, which is 11.5 knots. And you don't have to hold the button down, you just select the speed. So you can select anything, from stop through 1/4, 1/2, 3/4 and full ahead and full aft. What's this Svetlana doing? Is he going for the ram? No, he's just ducking in behind me. So I'm playing a cruiser, which you can see up the top there. The ship indicators. The little arrows, like these two in front of me, are destroyers. That one is a cruiser, the boat with a single slash. A boat with 2 slashes, like the Myogi and the Wyoming over there, they're battleships. And right now I'm holding down the right mouse button to look around without changing the training of my guns. If I just move the mouse around without holding any buttons, then it changes the reticle, and you can see the aiming reticles of all my guns tracking to follow my mouse cursor. And the turrets do have a shift time. It takes time to move the gun around. It doesn't really matter on a ship like this, which just has guns all around it. But if you're playing, for example, one of these battleships, as you can see here, if I could just zoom in on him, he has multi-gun turrets. So at the moment his guns are pointing over the starboard side of the ship. If he wants to shoot something on the port side, like I am, then he would have to turn those guns all the way around. Alright, nothing's in range of me just yet. Now, I'm a cruiser, so I have armor, but not a lot. These destroyers up here have no armor, but they are very sneaky. And you can see these little triangles in the water, those are torpedoes that these two destroyers up here have launched. Zooming in here to a binocular view allows me to aim my guns. At the moment, these two ships are outside my range. And you can see the ship name, type, the player name, the remaining health of the enemy ship, and its range from me. Same goes for friendlies. Oh, enemy torpedoes. And that Svetlana has expertly dodged them. They ran out of steam before they reached their Wyoming, let alone me. Tenryu's in range, but he's obscured by the mountains. Although, yeah, he's well outside my range. And you can see the mountains symbol next to my reticle. That's telling me that at least one of my turrets is occluded by terrain. And this Miyogi is just outside my range. Oh, I'm detected. Where's the destroyer? There you are. Shots out, and you can see I was leading the target, not nearly enough though. Here's at the extreme range of my guns, and very, very fast, so I have to give a lot of lead. I'm going to focus fire on that Tenryu, because that destroyer is not a factor to me at this point. This Tenryu, however, is a cruiser, and he is firing at me. So I'm going to switch to armor piercing. High explosive will rather hardly ever penetrate armor, but it will explode on deck, and it can set fires and destroy. Whoa, that was a big hit that he took from someone else. High explosive will destroy things on deck, such as guns, and that Svetlana finished off the Tenryu. So basically, guns and engines and other things will be destroyed by high explosive. Armor piercing will penetrate armor and explode deep within the ship. And that massive hit that the Tenryu took, that took off 90% of his health, that was what's known as a citadel penetration. Basically, each ship has what's known as a citadel, which is, on this particular ship, directly below the funnels, and it contains all the vital machinery, like the engines and the boilers and such, that don't react too well to being shot. And that's where the heaviest armor on the ship is. And if you get armor-piercing penetration through that, you can very easily take off massive amounts of health. And you can also penetrate the magazines of the guns, and which you can imagine, lots and lots of powder and shells. If something explodes near that, it will destroy the entire ship. One hit kill if you get a magazine penetration. Unless they're flying a particular signal flag, like I am, that basically these signal flags give you stat boosts and other bonuses. One of them is a negative 100% chance for your magazine to be detonated, which means if someone does penetrate your magazine, it won't blow your ship to smithereens instantaneously. And I'm going to about face here because we've got a Bogatyr and a Danae closing in on this flank. Actually, that's another St. Louis over there, so all ahead full, let's get around to the action. Actually, those two are in our cap circle, and they're capturing it. Torpedoes. Swing these guns around. Oh shit. Alright. And you can run your ship aground, so be careful. Just outside my range. Although this buggeteer is steaming towards me. I might get a hit on him by the time he gets there. Alright, now he's in range. And is steaming right towards me, so I'm going to keep the high explosive loaded because I'm not likely to penetrate his armor at this angle. I'm going to slow down and keep range on him. Now he's turning broadside onto me. I'm going to switch to armor piercing because I might be able to get a shot in through the side of his ship. Shots out. Bring in the lead because he is sailing a lot slower than I thought. He's basically stopping. That's good. And you can see on the right there, those flags popping up. They tell me what my shots are doing. So there was one hit, 2 over penetrations, and a bounce. I think this guy might be well a tanks player, because he's going backwards and forwards. Wyoming's opening fire on him. So yes, depending on the angle of the armor and the thickness of it, your shots will either penetrate, they will shatter on the face of it, go right through and out the other side without exploding, or they might bounce, just clean off it. And you can see I'm not aiming at the waterline, I'm actually aiming above that, because ships have what's known as belt armor, which is basically the thickest bit of armor that they have. This guy knows what he's doing. I'm going to queue up high explosive for the next volley after this. So you switch ammo with the number keys. If you press it once, it'll queue it, so the next reload will load that particular type. If you hit it twice, it'll clear the chambers and reload immediately. Awesome! Now, firing at this Wyoming over here, he has a lot more armor than that Bogatia. So I'm going to keep the high explosive loaded. Oh boy! And I'm also going to keep my bows angled towards him. And angled. Ow! I forgot about that Myogi! Alright, you know what? A head full, bugging out. Ow! That hurt! So yeah, I was angling my armor against that Wyoming over there, but presenting a full broadside to that Myogi over there. And he basically sent his massive armor-piercing shells right through the side of my ship. And you saw, it basically, first salvo took about 2/3 of my health off, second salvo took the rest. So let's go over and watch this friendly Myogi. So he's taking some hits in the bow. Shots out. Let's follow those. Nice. So let's have a look at this Wyoming over here. You can see he's angling his ship so that that Myogi over there can't get shots directly into the side of his ship, because if you can imagine, flat plate, shell coming in like that, easiest thing to penetrate. If it's angled like that, it's likely to glance off. Or just shatter, because if you have a certain thickness of armor, but you change the angle at which the shell's approaching at, it essentially has to get through more armor. That's the whole idea of sloped armor. Yeah, this guy's in trouble. So, when going up against the ship that is likely to be firing armor piercing at you, you want to angle it so that you can either bounce or potentially just shatter the shots as they come in. And when firing armor piercing at another ship, like I was trying to explain before, you want to aim about there, which is above the belt armor but still into the side of the hull. Because if you try to put armor piercing shots through the superstructure up here, there is very little, if any, armor there, and your shots would just go in one side and out the other, basically just punching a hole without exploding, and do very minimal, if any, damage. But the thing with armor piercing is its effectiveness drops off with range. So if you're at the extreme range of your guns, basically your shots don't follow a perfect parabola. They go out a bit, then they slow down, and at the very extreme range they end up coming in almost directly above, which is called plunging fire. And if you get it right, you can actually punch shots of armor piercing down through the deck of the ship, which is hard to do, but if you do manage it, it is very, very rewarding, because the deck armor over the Citadel is usually some of the thinnest. But of course, at that point the shells are going as slow as they're ever going to go, so they don't have very much energy left. Which is why, when shooting at an extreme range or at a heavily armored target like a battleship, you want to be firing high explosive. It won't go through the armor, but if you put shots of high explosive into the superstructure, it can set the ship on fire, it can destroy gun turrets, it can even destroy or put out of action the engines or even the steering of the ship, which limits their maneuverability. And this Svetlana is about to die. So you can see he's putting shots into the very side of this Myogi, but he's angled so well they're likely just bouncing off. Torpedoes. Yes, the Svetlana, which is a Soviet cruiser, does get torpedoes. And torpedoes, they have limited range and limited speed. Wow! Those two ships blew up at about the same time. And torpedoes take expert aiming. But if you do manage to hit them with a torpedo, they can cause flooding, and they can very easily knock out engines and steering. And they do a lot of damage. It looks like Marcus and Sheila here. Hi guys! Oh, I just realized it is just that enemy Wyoming. Oh, and we made 1,000 points. Yay! Yeah, it was 2 against 1 in favor of us. And we had all the flags captured. I didn't even realize. So yeah, victory for our team. So I received roughly 44,000 credits, 966 experience, and because my ship is fully upgraded, it earns what's known as free experience. So I can use this for anything. This experience is ship experience. So I can use that to basically upgrade the ship and buy more directly down the tree from it. Free experience I can use for anything. So yeah, I was 3rd from last on my team. Not my best match. And basically you can see how you did, what damage you took and delivered where, and such. But let's go back to the port for now. And I'll explain a little bit more about armor. Come on. Back to port. Alright. So yeah, you get a quick summary of what you got. Why am I looking at this one? I know why. Anyway, back to the St. Louis. So there's one tab up here that I didn't show you yet, and that's profile. And this is my player profile. So when you start the game, you're level 1. So you have access to only co-op battles, which is small battles of a single player team and an AI team. Basically, this whole level thing is basically just to introduce you to the game really slowly. So at level 3, you finally unlock the ability to fight against other players. And then you get upgrades, ship commanders, signals, camouflages, and such. So it's a really nice progression system. Now if we go back to our ship and go armor layout again, you can see what parts of the ship have armor and how much. So we're just looking at So we're just looking here at the deck armor. So basically just basic plating. And it's all 6mm, which isn't a lot. So that's just around the deck. Around the superstructure, again, it's all 6mm except for this front plate on the conning tower. So this is basically protecting against high explosive, which isn't a lot of protection. And as you can see, of course, wooden deck, very easy to set on fire. Now this is the castlemate armor, basically the first line of defense for the critical components. And the deck is 13mm thick, as is the armor belt, and but the front and aft sections of this box are only 6mm. But then around the gun emplacements here, I've got 102mm of armor belt. And then each turret has their own armor. Now, these shapes that you're seeing are actually what the game uses to calculate the angle of shot and such. So this box here, around the base of this bow gun, it's very, very basic. So basically, shot comes straight in here, it's got to go in. But these round shapes around these other turrets, they're much more likely to bounce shots. As with this, so this shape here, this sloping shape, all these polygons affect the fall of shot. So you can see it's a very fat ship, but if you were to get a short range shot coming in, say like that, it's likely to just glance off the deck armor here. And here's the business end, the Citadel. So the Citadel deck, which is below all of this, the Citadel deck armor is 51mm, and the sides are again sloped to potentially bounce shots, and I get 76mm. 51 at the front and back, but then 13 below the waterline. So this thing does not have very good torpedo defense, so a torpedo is likely to go straight through the side. But shots coming in are likely to either bounce off this armor, or if they go through that, be stopped dead by this armor. Unless they are of a sufficient caliber, such as that battleship before. Now let's go to the tech tree, and we'll change things up a bit. We'll go over to the USSR. No wait, no, it was Japan, that's right. The Tenryu. This is the ship that I blew up in the last game. And I love this cruiser. As you can see, it's got single gun turrets mounted centerline on the deck. And unlike the St. Louis, this is a very long, thin ship, which means it's faster. In fact, it can make a maximum of 34.1 knots, which is 10 knots faster than the St. Louis. But being so long and thin, it can't turn as easily. As you can see, its turn radius is much larger at 560 meters as opposed to the 400 and something of the short and fat St. Louis. But the Tenryu here gets torpedoes. And it has 2 launches of 3 tubes each. And the torpedoes have a range of 7 kilometers and they run at 57 knots. So there is no ship in this game that can outrun my torpedoes. And again, I've got it fully upgraded. The only upgrades on this particular ship are the hull, which gives me more armor and hit points, and the fire control system. And as you can see, the next ships that are available to me are either the Koachi, a battleship, or the Kuma, a cruiser. And each one costs experience and, of course, credits. I do not yet have enough experience to buy either of these ships. Let's fix that. Go to a random battle again. Yeah, it shows you number of players within range, basically in your area and of your tier, and what types. And it is very rare that you will be pitted against ships more than 2 tiers away from you. So if we look here, wow, can only cobble 3 against 3. So this is a what you would say is a tier 3 match, because the highest tier of any ship is tier 3, and I'm top tier. This Dresden and this V25 are probably gonna have their work cut out for them. This is the smallest game I've ever seen, by the way. I guess not many people are playing. So I'm gonna set head 3/4. And basically I'm just going to punch a hole right down the center. Let's go. So we've got a Dresden cruiser over there, and way over there we've got the G101.
Good luck, everyone.
Indeed. And you can use the F1 to 12 keys to send those little predetermined messages through chat. And you can also, of course, hit enter and type in specific messages. So, up at top center, you can see, of course, the ship counter. It tells you what ships are on the enemy team and how many of them are left. And below that, you can see the flag status and the point status. And because each team holds a flag, we are both gaining points at a certain rate. And that sound you just heard was my torpedo tubes reloading. So I can show you the torpedo UI here. So basically that's the firing arc that I can shoot at, basically just a full broadside, and then the track. So if I hit the number 3 key again, it switches to a widespread, which basically means it's essentially trying to assure that something is going to hit something. But if you're sure of your aim, you can switch to a narrow spread and try and get more torpedoes to hit. Now I'm detected, I can't see what it was. That means there's a destroyer out there. And there's the enemy cruiser. So pull the camera back and turn and change speed, because if you sail a constant course and speed, you're making yourself extremely easy to hit with torpedoes. Now the thing with your ship is you've got to make sure you know what its gun placement is. Just because my guns are centerline mounted doesn't mean that I can always get a full broadside. Hello! Alright, so that's a destroyer 5 kilometers off my starboard beam. He is going to be firing at me. Yeah. And this destroyer ahead of me is also shooting. So I'm going to fire off a quick spread and then start working him over with the guns. It's unlikely that you're going to hit a destroyer with torpedoes, unless you're stupid like this guy seems to be and is sailing constant course and speed. And ow. Wow. I hit him with a torpedo. And of course, always fire high explosive at destroyers, because you will just not armor piercing just goes straight through these things. Yeah, and he will be launching torpedoes, so I'm changing course and speed very quickly. Nice. Alright. Come on. Come on. Eat those shots. Shit! Alright, he only got one torpedo away. Easily able to avoid it. Let's start working over this cruiser. Actually, he's gonna get a torpedo and die. No! Wow, this guy knows what's up. Alright. There we go. He's dead. That was quick. So yeah, I downed 2/3 of the enemy team. How's that for ya? And yes, that destroyer that I hit with the torpedo, he basically flooded to death. Yep, top of the team, not surprised. Let's keep going. So, if your ship is set on fire or flooded, you have what's known as a damage control ability, which is activated with the R key. And that basically puts out any fires and shores up any flooding. And for about 3 seconds, it will also immediately take care of any damage, any fires or flooding that occurs after you activate it. But it has a cooldown of at least 1.5 minutes. So, if you are set on fire, and you immediately put it out, and you're set on fire again immediately afterwards, you can do nothing about it except burn. However, your crew will put out the fire or shore up the flooding by themselves within about 50 seconds. So, especially if you're in a battleship, and you have health to spare, and you're only burning or flooding in one place, you can usually just leave it and let your crew deal with it and save your abilities for a more serious emergency. I haven't had to use any of that yet because I haven't been set on fire or flooded. Mostly because I'm sailing a cruiser and I've usually been fighting other cruisers. Aha. Now, you can see here, this guy's name is in pink. That means, in the last few matches he's played, he has caused significant damage to teammates. So essentially he's a team killer. I'm going to steer well clear of him. But the good news is, torpedoes at least I know only do half damage to friendlies. And if someone causes enough friendly damage, then they start getting any damage they inflict on friendlies beyond that reflected on themselves. So if they shoot someone, then that someone doesn't take damage the person who shot them did, if they're both friendlies. Basically it boils down to don't be a dick. Now this is a bit bigger team. We've got 5 ships on each team. My team has the destroyer advantage. The enemy team has the cruiser advantage. So I'm going to stick to the outskirts of the map. Let's see. Cool. In one of the more recent updates, the map was changed to allow you to see ship names, which is quite useful. V25 off my starboard beam. He is a destroyer, so he is very sneaky and he is very fast. So he can dive into these. Oh, hello. He can dive into these islands and be all sneaky with his torpedoes. We've got a Bogatyr and a Königsberg. Now, firing your guns does increase the range at which you will be detected. So if you start the match just firing at nothing, then you will very likely be detected very, very early and die very, very early. And you can see, as these shots go out, they are falling down very vertical. This guy's a better target. Ooh, yeah! Oh, that went straight through him. Pull the camera out. It's a good idea to pull the camera out at regular intervals just to see what's going on. Alright. Shots out at the Bogatyr. I'm piercing at this point. Alright. Destroyer, Rakataki, Japanese, switch, high explosive. He is going to die. Take shots from someone. Oh, that's a Kawachi. Okay. Königsberg on our team blew up. Okay. That Bogatyr is burning. Shots out. This guy is nobody's fool. He is maneuvering hard. So it's very hard to hit him. But hit him I did. Alright. Let's get our asses moving. Oh, I knocked out a gun. Cool. Oh boy. That's a Chester. He's stopping. Why is he stopping? Well, I'm taking fire. This ain't good. Incoming. And turn. Nope. Woo! Ow. Oh, hello, Chester. Thank you for bumping into your teammate. Now you two are sitting ducks. That Wakataki's laying a smoke screen. This makes it very hard to hit anything. I'm basically playing like a battleship at this point. Oh yay, set a fire. Alright. Now, my turrets can't turn fast enough to be able to track as I turn the ship, so I have to let up on the rudder at times to be able to let my guns train. Alright, this Chester needs to die. Very nice. Ow, ow, ow! Shots out. Going right through him. That's weird. Alright, let up. Let my guns retrain. Alright, let's switch. Ow! High explosive and get the fuck out of here! Owie. Owie. Owie! You fucking Wakataki bitch! Set him on fire. I'm not gonna survive this. Oh no. Alright, repair steering and put out that fire. I knocked out his steering. No wait, his engine. And he's burning. If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me, you son of a bitch. Owie. Yep. I know. I have torpedoes. What the hell am I doing? You Wakataki bitch. Killed the Wakataki. Sweetness. Alright. Königsberg. Please die. Zigzag, avoid his shots. Are you sailing broadside onto me, sir? I'm about to die! Alright. Hard turn to port. Let's get out of here! Ow. Those are all gonna miss. I'm gonna make a beeline down here and assist in the capture of the enemy base. That fucking Chester. Yes, if you hit an enemy ship while they're trying to capture a flag, then their capture progress will be reset. Ooh, that was close. No! You missed. And I hit you again, I set you on fire. I'm about to get into the cover of the island. Let's not beach myself. Incoming! Ooh. Shots out. Yay, I hit him blind. But there are 3 ships in that circle. And, yeah, my team has left the capture circle of the enemy base to try and capture, or rather stop the capture of our base. Hello. I knocked out his engine. He's dead in the water. I got the high caliber award. Sweet. Ow, ow, ow. These engines back up. Owie. Yep, and that dude killed me with his secondary batteries. But wow. 64 gun hits. 5 fires, 3 incapacitations, 4 capture resets, and the high caliber award. And I sunk 1 ship. Oh, and that South Carolina battleship is all we have left. You can do it. You only got a battleship and 2 cruisers to fight. And they've almost finished capturing our base. You need to get into the cap circle and stop that capture progress. But he's tunnel visioning in on this Kawachi, so he's probably not going to do that. No. Captured base, we have lost. But god damn, that was good game. High caliber award. Destroy, or rather damage, at least 4 enemy ships. Damage caused must exceed 30% of the total HP of all the ships in the enemy team. I did a lot of damage. Top of the team. Yeah. Ah, that was fun. Hair raising, but fun. Oh, and I think I forgot to mention, this game is free. Yeah. Wargaming.net. It's free to play. And not pay to win in the slightest. It's not even like World of Tanks. There is no premium ammunition or anything like that. There are premium ships, but they only differ in stats. They don't have objectively better stats. In fact, I can show you. So, premium ship, tier 4 battleship. It's 2,500 doubloons. So, 53, 71, 9, 38, 28, as compared to the Miyogi, 50, 68. So yeah, it's got. Let's see, what does it have? It's got worse AAA defense. Well, actually, no, it has AAA defense. It has slightly better maneuverability and concealment. Very slightly better survivability, and slightly better artillery. So it is better, but it's not objectively better. So, I can't believe I forgot I have torpedoes in this thing. I've got a range of 7 kilometers. So let's go into another battle and see if I can remember that I have torpedoes. And I know I haven't been paying much attention to the chat, but there's not a whole lot going on there. Wow. Alright, so this is a much bigger team. And it's a tier 4 battle and I'm in a tier 3 cruiser. Great! There's a lot of Tenryus around here. Wow. 6 destroyers on my team. 5 on the enemy team. The enemy team also have 5 cruisers as opposed to our 4. And each team has got 2 battleships. Holy balls, this is going to be torpedo hell. So, I'm going to stick with this Izakazi up here. And yeah, just go charging right ahead into the Bravo capture point. A favorite technique, or rather trick, on this particular map is to charge right to these slots and fire your torpedoes blind down them. Because you never know. You might hit something. And that's what that Izakazi is doing right now. Actually, I'm going to play sneaky here. Because these boys represent the edge of the capture progress. So I'm just going to sit here like a real piece of work, we'll say. Looks like this Wakataki has the same idea as me. So I'm just going to sit right in the edge here, around this headland, and just prevent anyone from capturing it. Incoming torpedoes. And of course I can't fire anything. You know what? Screw this. A hedge full. Chick stick scars, glory lasts forever. Shit! Torpedoes! Alright, we're clear. Let's fire a spread down that way, into the smoke screen. Shit! 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 Oi! Oi! Watch out! Watch it! You almost shot me, you piece of shit! And these rings you can see in the water are the smoke screen from the destroyer. Owie! That hurt! So yeah. Oh, hello, Svetlana. Wow. This is a clusterfuck and a half. Yeah, this ain't good. Oh, that Tenryu is stuck. Whoa! Torpedo. Yeah, that Tenryu beached himself. Wow, this is a clusterfuck. Alright. Time to make this interesting. Let's charge right down the slot. Oh, hello, Zakazi. Alright. Hard to starboard. Torpedoes away. Torpedoes away. About face. Get the fuck out of here. Steering is locked hard to starboard. Shit! I ain't burning my control ability though because, well, I'm turning. Whoa. I kind of wanted to turn anyway. That's a lot of torpedoes. That is a shitload of torpedoes. Oh! Tony beats himself again. Just trying to reverse off the rocks. Whoa. Whoa. Wow. Wow. Alright. Yikes! You're still going backwards. Wow. Oh, hello. Ship is on fire. Yep. Beached himself. Nice. Let's see if I can get this destroyer with a torpedo spread, huh? Nah, that won't happen. I'm gonna beach myself. This ain't good. No! Sweetness, I burned him to death. This ain't good. This ain't good. This ain't good. Come on, reverse off the rocks. Head full. Let's go, go, go! Uh-oh. 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 I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. There's just nothing I can do. I am dead. Ow. Oh, look. It cracked my ship in half. That hurt. But that was fun, though. Little Dirtsky. Wow. I know I was playing very, very recklessly in that game, but that was so much fun. Unfortunately, I think we're going to lose this game because, well, two destroyers around this side of the map, playing havoc with our ships. The enemy team controls one capture point, they almost captured another. We only control one. So, we are currently ahead on points because we've sunk more ships and more valuable ships. But that ain't gonna last very long. Come on, get the Dirtsky. The amount of torpedoes that were in that channel around the Bravo capture point was just amazing. And Dirtsky's dead. Which puts us ahead on points, but then the Zakazi eats a torpedo. And great. Well, at the very least, We know where almost all of the enemy team are, and that friendly Dirtski is about to die, and there he goes. And with him, the positions of most of the enemy team. What can this Phoenix do against the Svetlana? And a Tenryu. Is that the Tenryu that beached himself before? I think it is. Sailing broadside onto the slot. We know there are definitely destroyers. I wonder if there are any torpedoes on their way. So sailed against the Svetlana. Good hits on the Svetlana. What you need to do is get your ass into that capture circle and stop the enemy team from gaining points. And what is that Miyogi doing all the way over frickin' there? And of course, the destroyer that's in that capture circle is spotting for all of the other enemy ships. And there's Yuzakazi. There are the two Tenryus. I have to wonder, what is that destroyer doing? Is taking his ship for a little walk around that island. Why? He knows he can basically backtrack along that slot and just wreak havoc with his torpedoes, and thank you! That battleship has finally grown a brain and jumped into the capture point to contest it. So the enemy team is no longer gaining points from that capture point. And we just sunk a Tenryu, which makes the scores more or less even. If we can sink one more ship and then just keep contesting this point, then we're going to win. And that Tenryu has been real sneaky and going around to contest Alpha, while enemy fleet is occupied here at Bravo. This Phoenix needs to get his ass in there. And that Miyogi needs to motor. Here comes Yuzakazi again. Well, not for much longer. And there goes the Yuzakazi. We are now ahead on points. And the enemy team is no longer gaining anything. Although, that Nikolai is probably about to die from that torpedo spread. Yep. The enemy team is now ahead on points. God damn it. Now it's 3 on 3. They are gaining points from Bravo now. Not from Alpha, however. So if we can capture and maintain Alpha and Charlie, we can maybe pull this back. That Phoenix needs to get his ass in that capture circle. That Tenryu down there is doing all of this by himself and putting shots in against that battleship. You know, this Phoenix is just too pussy to get his ass in there. That Miyogi's finally shown up again. He hasn't taken a lick of damage. He must have sailed up there to, I don't know, and never saw an enemy ship. This Tenryu, however, Soldier of the Month here. Come on, you can get in there and get some torpedoes away. What is that Phoenix doing? Come on. Sink this Svetlana. If we can sink this Svetlana, we will win this. Those are the Tenryu's torpedoes. Ooh. That's a big broadside. He's prioritizing the battleship. And the Tenryu is taking out the Svetlana. He's on fire, but it's not bad. Come on, you can kill that Svetlana. I know you can. Come on. One more hit like that. Come on. Torpedoes away. Ooh, big old hit. Turn away from him. God. Traded killing blows. But we're now ahead on points. The fuck is this guy doing? I was like, I know I was playing like a battleship in the last game. Oh, this Myogi knows what's up. You just dodged 6 torpedoes. Alright, and that Tenryu is in a crossfire. Ooh, big ol' hit. And he's dead. Now, both of you, about face, and get after that battleship. Because even though we're ahead, we're not that far ahead. That battleship's putting shots in on the Phoenix. He's not really hitting him because of the extreme range, but those big battleship guns, it won't take a whole lot. Shots coming in. Ooh, yeah. Good, solid damage. And of course, this guy's running away. I think he might be heading to Charlie. That Phoenix has the speed to keep up with him. Myogi doesn't, I don't think. And he's just dropped out of visual range. No hits. Now that Phoenix needs to turn to port and get into the Charlie capture point and wait for that battleship. Although I think this match is going to be over by the time he does, because 920 points, a minute and a half to go. This guy's taking a pounding. Oh, that's what they're doing. They're farming free experience on capturing the base. $50 to go. What's going to run out first? The clock or the points? The points. We've won. $995, 98, and win. Not bad. How'd I do? I was third on my team? Wow. I have enough XP to unlock a battleship. Though I don't really feel like playing a battleship at this point. I got rid of most of my destroyers. Hmm. Yeah, let's just keep going. See if I can earn enough to unlock the next Japanese cruiser. So yes, I would highly recommend this game to anyone who A, likes the sort of naval combat, and B, anyone who likes fun. The games are slow and methodical for the most part, but oh man, when it gets real, it gets real. Now you can see here the maximum queue time for a random battle is no longer than 5 minutes. If it takes longer than that to find enough players, then the matchmaker will either make the team smaller or populate it with bots. That tends to happen more in Solomon Islands again. That tends to happen more in co-op battles, where it's players versus bots. You tend to get a few bots on your own team as well. Oh, we've got aircraft carriers in this game. Fantastic. Wait. This isn't the same map. Alright, I am definitely not going into... You know what, I'm going to head down to Delta. I'm close to Alpha, scratch that. Yeah, I'm definitely not going in the middle of all that.
Good luck, everyone. Much obliged. It's a go.
Yeah, because that central ring of islands is going to be a destroyer and therefore a torpedo magnet.
It's a go.
Oh my god. 5 battleships on my team, 4 on the enemy team, 4 cruisers, an aircraft carrier and 2 destroyers. Oh balls.
I owe you one.
Alright, let's keep pace with these destroyers and get into the Alpha point. Enemy fighters going out. Yep. Spotted Nizakasi. Torpedo bombers inbound. Tenure is a great ship. It's a terrific destroyer killer. Indeed. Although, you should have seen the last match. On the Solomons map, the central slot around the Bravo point was full. of torpedoes. Enemy Nikolai ahead. There's a Kazi up there. Hello. Enemy destroyer. Roger that. Whoa. He's smoked up. Shots out against Nikolai, just because I might make it. And is it Kazi firing his guns? Does this guy know what type of ship is going in? Owie! Okay, I'm bugging out of here. Owie, owie, owie! Enemy cruiser ahead. Hello. This Izakazi is going backwards. Why is he going backwards? Knocked out his engine anyway. What the? Enemy Tenryu ahead. Knocked out his steering. Alright. This Tenryu is not paying attention. Though I think the friendly ship has got him. Yep. Friendly ship got him. Whoa! And as you can see, I'm lobbing shots over the mountains here. Knocked out an aircraft gun. Torpedo bombers going in. And we have captured Alpha. Sweet! I'm going after this Nassau. It looks like I'm not the only one. Torpedoes reloaded, set him on fire. Shots out, maneuver. Ow! Could have been worse. Alright. Let's keep up the shots on this Nikolai. Aircraft coming in. Torpedo bombers. Alright. This is a destroyer tactic we've got here. Basically, sneaking around the island. Gonna shove these torpedoes right down this guy's throat. Those are gonna be no factor to me. Hello. Ow. Chew on torpedoes, asshole. Oh yeah. I lost half my health doing it. But yeah, sunk an enemy battleship. Hooray. Let's get over here and support this Izakazi in capturing Charlie. And yeah, I am still streaming, Marcus. We've only been going for about an hour and a half or so. So let's see. Most of the enemy team is concentrated down in the Charlie and Delta capture points. Oh look, there's that Nikolai again. Torpedoes up. Do we know where the friendly carrier is? What? Okay. Bang! Swing the guns around. Svetlana. Oh, this ain't good. Oh, this ain't good. That Izakazi, he's just died. I do not particularly want to follow him. Ow.
All stations, provide fire support.
Forgot about you. Well, that Kronenberg is dead.
Urgently. Roger, proceeding to assist you.
Wow. The teamwork in this game is amazing. Hang on. That's not where I wanted to go. Come on. Where's... Yeah, this guy. What is this Koichi think he's doing? Sailing right through the central ring. And we just lost another destroyer. And that's South Carolina. Oh boy. We don't yet know where the enemy carrier is. That Nassau's got some balls though. Charging right past another Nassau towards a Bogatyr and a Kuma. This Koichi's about to unleash a full broadside against this Svetlana. There we go. Torpedoes. Ow. That looked like it hurt. See, the thing is, you know there's a destroyer ahead of you. So, you could stand to turn the ship once in a while. And we just killed another Nassau. Come on, you need to kill that Izakazi. You got the Svetlana on the run, and he's about to take torpedoes from the friendly carrier. Or he might just ninja it. Nope, he did not. Kaboom. Now I just need to kill this Izakazi and deal with that Nikolai. And we just lost the Bogatyr. What are those enemy torpedoes going against? And there goes Izakazi. The Myogi just took a torpedo. That Nikolai is a real pain in the ass right now. No, but the other friendly Nassau is capturing Delta as well. And that enemy Wyoming is steaming around the headland to try and stop him, but I don't think he's going to be able to. And Delta is ours. Now because this Kawachi just got hit, the capture progress on Charlie got reset, but there are only 3 enemy ships left. There's this Nikolai, that Wyoming, and the enemy carrier. That's not good for him. Shots incoming. Oh! Massive Citadel hit. Friendly carrier. Friendly Nassau. Ooh, Wyoming's about to take torpedoes. Right in the side. She's probably flooding now as well. More torpedo bombers inbound. That Kuma, I don't think quite has the range on those torpedoes. Nope, enemy fighters being vectored in to deal with the torpedo bombers. I don't think they're going to be able to do a whole lot though. Torpedoes away. Right into the side of him. Wyoming dead. And we just won. Very nice. How the hell did that happen? How did I manage to top the team on XP? Again. How does this keep happening? Let's go for another battle. Maybe it was because I stuck like 5 torpedoes into the side of that enemy battleship. Of course, I then took a massive citadel from another enemy battleship, so it wasn't exactly a say fair fight. This is going to be another aircraft carrier battle, isn't it? Wow. Both teams have got a Langley and a Hosho each. Oh boy. This is going to be interesting. So,
Autopilot mode enabled. Battle starts.
yeah. So what I just did there was I went to map mode and set a course for my ship to travel automatically. And yeah.
Autopilot mode disabled.
Oops. Oh well.
Autopilot mode enabled.
Yeah. So basically My ship is now going to follow this track. So I don't have to worry about steering the ship. Yet. Now, because I'm a cruiser, I'm not going to charge right through the middle like those destroyers are. Friendly torpedo bombers going out. Enemy torpedo bombers sighted. Enemy destroyer sighted and in range. He just smoked up. He's sitting still, the idiot. He's going backwards. Now he's going forwards again. Wow. Sighted the enemy carrier. At least one of them. Come on. Nope. Jeez, this guy's ducking and weaving. Alright. Slow down and turn to avoid those torpedoes. Let's go over this way and support the other cruisers. There's the whole show. Whoa, that was close. Enemy Izakazi over there. Alright. I'm gonna fire some torpedoes down this slot. See what I can do. And then put some shots into this Izakazi, who is currently dead in the water. Very nice. Ow. Well aware. Enemy Phoenix just outside of range. Alright, let's get the fuck out of here! I can't turn. My rudder is jammed. That is not good. At least I can keep up the fire on this guy. He's watching me. He's maneuvering whenever he sees me fire. And I'm about to die. And I'm dead. 5 gun hits. 1 sinking, which is, let's face it, the kill steal, and 1 fire set. That was not a good mission on my part. So, you know what? Let's just go back to port. I won't be able to use this particular ship again until this battle ends. So... yeah, let's try these Kazi. So it's torpedoes, 7 kilometers, detectability 6.1. So I've got 900 meters stealth where I can launch my torpedoes. Let's go. Now the thing with Japanese destroyers, torpedoes are amazing, guns are shit. Another double carrier mission. Wow. There's just a few destroyers and cruisers on this mission. Full speed ahead. Going for Bravo. Now, the thing is with destroyers is, not only do they have awesome torpedoes, but they have an engine boost and a smoke screen. Torpedoes up. I don't have any camouflage or signal flags flying. So... let's not crash into the mountain.
All stations, proceed to capture that area. Received. I'm on it.
Alright. So yeah, I've got an engine boost and a smoke screen as well. So I'm going to get into this capture point here and spot targets for this Clemson. Also, yeah, make sure my anti-aircraft is off. Hello. There's a Dene up there. If he stays within 7 kilometers, I'm gonna nail him. Actually. That Dene is coming directly for me. We have captured Bravo. About to capture Charlie. And he's turning. And I'm detected. Great. Oh, I'm detected by him. Alright. Smoke screen. No!
All stations reporting the position of a strategic target.
That ain't good. Oh shit! Oh boy. Alright. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up! Do not nose out of this smoke screen. Is it Danae over there? Oh damn. Alright, my smoke screen is dissipating.
Proceed to capture that area.
Engine boost active. Let's go. I'm gonna go charging right for this New York. And shove my torpedoes right down his sorry throat. Actually, he's going behind that island, so we'll just go over this way and wait for him to pop out the other side.
I owe you one.
Alright. I'm detected
Proceeding to assist you.
by that Svetlana. He's maneuvering though. Torpedoes away. That Svetlana's dead. Hello, Mitsuki. Hello, New York.
Engine boost deactivated.
Shit. I'm gonna eat at least one of these. And I'm dead. And it cracked me in half. Wow. That ended abruptly. And that New York is no one's fool. He still eats one of those torpedoes. Not any of mine, though. It's been too long since I've played destroyers. I'm not good at playing them. How's this Clemson doing? Not very well. I like that paint pattern on that Kamikaze R. Ooh, skin of the teeth. Why are you firing your torpedoes against another destroyer? They're just too quick. Wow, that Mitsuki is not having a good day right now. Oh boy. Ow, dive bombers. Just missed that torpedo. But I'm not going to miss this one. Right in the stern. And he did. This guy was almost on almost full health not 20 seconds ago. Oh, how things can change. So, let's watch these torpedo bombers. Because the thing with aircraft carriers in this game, they don't play like the rest of these ships. Aircraft carriers are a top-down real-time strategy game. Oh, hello. Found a Königsberg. Yeah, they didn't drop their torpedoes yet. And there they go. Maybe. You're gonna drop your torpedoes anytime soon? There we go, torpedoes away. 4 of them hit. Kaboom. 4 out of 6 torpedoes hit. Wow. That is awesome. Yeah, the enemy team is winning. They control all 3 capture points. And they've sunk an equal number of ships as us. There's a squadron of fighters patrolling over here. Who's this Miyoki shooting at? Nikazi's just... Yeah, they are. You might get one of these torpedoes into this Congo, maybe? Not likely, however. No, he's turning. You might get one in his stern. Nah. This Congo knows how to dodge torpedoes. This Mikazi has got torpedo problems of his own. Plus his engine's been knocked out. Wow. The Japanese destroyer using his guns against the battleship, no less. Oh, we just sunk in New York. It's Koenig. He's got torpedoes coming in from starboard side, a destroyer on his port side. Well, he's just killed the destroyer. He's gonna eat 3 torpedoes though. Yeah, that hurt. That is our entire fleet right there. They're all still on this side of the map. Torpedo bombers away at this dene. Ooh, two of them. Right in the side. Enemy team is still getting more points than us. There are only 3 ships left on the enemy team, however. So now is the time for us to push. This Midakaze is still playing with this battleship over here. We need to push forward, sink this Congo, and take out these 2 carriers. That's the only way we can win at this point. Problem is, we've only got 1 destroyer and 1 cruiser left. We've got 3 battleships and 2 aircraft carriers. Too bad our team won't play the map objectives. Yeah, they tried, but yeah, the enemy team kind of pushed us back to this side of the map really early. Our carriers need to scan out the other 2. That's really what needs to happen, is the carriers need to scout for us. We need to sink this bloody Congo and then go after the enemy carriers. Come on, Miyogi, you can do it. Come on. We have captured Bravo and Charlie. We've got 5 minutes left in this battle. Come on. Congo is on 111 health. A destroyer could finish him off at this point. And we have eyes on the enemy carrier. Torpedoes away against the carrier. 1, 2, 3. Carrier is dead. That Congo still refuses to die. Although this Miyogi is just sitting there waiting for him. Just like that. And now we have spotted the final enemy ship. We have captured all 3 points. This guy just ran out of friends. It's taking hits from the Congo and the Koenig. And just so you know, the Langley here is probably the slowest ship in the entire game. It's certainly the slowest aircraft carrier. Nothing. Like, this thing cannot outrun a thing in this game. And he has got 3 battleships shooting at him. He's got 2 torpedo bomber squadrons coming in. A fighter squadron coming in to give him cover. This guy's dead. It's just a matter of whether or not he's going to sink before we get the points. Not to mention, he's just sitting here dead in the water. He's going to eat all 5 of those torpedoes. Kaboom. That turned around quick. And yeah, not surprising, I was the worst on the team. The friendly bow sunk 3 enemy ships. Wow. Alright, back to port. How the Tenryu do? I don't yet have quite enough to get the Kuma. I think that's gonna have to be in the next stream, because I'm getting kind of tired. So, thanks to everyone who's stuck around for this. I've certainly had a lot of fun tonight. And I feel like this has been a much more entertaining stream than the previous have been. So I think, unless I find something else, World of Warships is going to be my weekly stream game. Because I love this game. So, yeah. Thanks to everyone who's showed up or watched this on the export. I am Scarlet. This has been World of Warships. See you later. And just waiting so it doesn't cut off the end of stream.